Hey everyone, welcome back to Radio Resto. So in this episode, we are not looking at the MG today, but we're looking at my other favorite little toy, which is the Yardman Mustang. So spring is here again now, and it's time to kind of get some gardening in, trim the grass and so on. So I thought let's take an opportunity to give this guy a clean little tune. But I've got something super exciting to show you guys. What I found on my little internet hunting, I have found a go-kart exhaust which I think would fit on here. So this is the old exhaust, as you can see. I don't even know how long this has been on here, but it's very short, it is very loud. So I'm hoping this thing would make it sound a lot cooler. It will look cooler on here. First of the many mods I want to do to this mower as well over time, just to make it look cool, run cool. So yeah, let's just get stuck in and see if we can figure out a way to make this thing fit. Okay, so what I've done is I've removed the air filter from the top here, which just gives us a little bit more room for access. And then the old exhaust it screws in. So I've just screwed it out of that, and as you can see, there's two holes here. Now, if I take the new pipe and sort of offer it up to the holes, sorry, to the focus. As you can see, it doesn't quite line up. It's a little bit off, but in terms of the diameter of the actual outlet, that is the same size, so that should fit perfectly fine. But I think the whole alignment for the screws, they're not quite in the right position, so it's going to take a little bit of drilling. So I'm going to try and widen these. I've just given it a go to see if I've got anything that will drill through stainless steel. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a shot and just see if I can widen the holes on this again, and then we'll find some screws that may fit that hole. Alright, so that's on, as you can see. It's in there tight. So I've used the bolts, these two sort of screws here, sorry, that came with the kit, so they were to hold or retain the actual exhaust pipe to the frame. But as you can see, that's pretty solid as it is there. I just want to keep the fuel line a little bit away from it, but I am going to wrap it in the heat wrap that came with the exhaust as well. So it's a pretty good kit from eBay, to be honest. Yeah, it has everything that you need, to be honest. So yeah, looking at it now, the gasket's in. It did come with a gasket. The gasket is on and installed with the exhaust line itself. So I'm just going to try and tighten that top one a little bit. The angle's a bit awkward here to get to, but I'm going to just try and tighten it down a little bit more just so it's snug, and then yeah, we're in business. But like I said, guys, I mean, this is just this is just for some fun. This is just for a a garden tractor that you've got here. This is not for your car, so I wouldn't recommend doing what we've done. Like I said before, for anything that you got in a normal car, this is just literally for a little bit of fun, just to make this thing sound cool. All right, everyone, time for a little sound check now. Let's just see what this bad boy sounds like. Alright, so as you can hear, actually sounds a little bit louder, to be honest, than I thought it would, but it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm kind of happy with how that turned out. So I'm going to wrap it in the heat wrap, and then yeah, we'll take it out and see. I mean, it does need a little bit of a tune up. As you can see, it sort of surges a little bit, so there is an issue with the carburetor that I'm aware of on this mower. There's a slight crack in one of the tubes on the inside, but it still runs, it still dries, it still does everything it needs to do. But yeah, over time I'm going to get that done as well. Okay guys, so to do the heat wrap on any exhaust that you've got, you're going to need a couple of things, right? So you need a bucket of water where you're going to soak the heat wrap in the water. So I'm just going to put that in the bucket. and you're going to need blue gloves. Right now, the heat wrap is actually made from fiberglass, so it will get into your skin. It'll poke. You'll get like a little irritation as well if you do it with your bare hand. So just please make sure you wear gloves when you do this. I did it before in one of my other cars and I didn't use gloves, and honestly my hands were very irritated. So just make sure you wear gloves, and then you're going to need metal cable ties, right, to hold these into place. So I'm just going to let this soak for a moment until you sort of like just give it a little bit of a squeeze, get some bubbles out of there, and then when we're ready, I'll show you guys what to do next. Okay, so it just needs to be wet. It doesn't need to be soaking in there. I'm just going to take this little piece of tape on the end off of that. So as you can see, it's going to have like sort of loose fibers and things. You just can cut them off from there. So I'm just going to cut that one off. Right. Okay, so then what you do is once it's a little bit wet as well, it makes it a little bit more malleable to move around. So you want to just start it off. Now, also key thing to note is I let the exhaust cool down because I did run it. So just make sure you do this in a cold exhaust, or even if it's just slightly warm but not hot, because you will burn yourself, right, doing it. So what you want to do is you want to start it off, and then you want to overlap it. So just overlap it. You can do different measurements. I tend to do just roughly about 50-ish% of it overlapped over for the first couple of wraps, just to kind of get it tight. And then you can just see how you go in terms of the length that you have, how much you have left. So I'm just going to do that, and then just try and pull it as tight as you can as you wrap it over. So pull it tight and then just get it going. Alright, it's the same thing. Just going to bring it over. Probably shouldn't have worn a vest to do this with exposed arms, but hey, we are where we are. Okay. So I'm just holding it with one hand, and then I'm just going to pull it tight and then do it. So that obviously you've got the cable ties. So what I'm going to do is I just wanted to get it started over, and then we can cable tie it at the end of that. So again, pulling it over, winding it, and then pulling it tight again. So again, I'm hoping you guys can see the overlap there. So you've got the bit on it, overlap, pull tight again, and around, and then same thing, try to get the creases out of that, pull it tight, and then around again, and literally just keep going until you overlap it, pull it tight, keep going, and then see, once you've got it started a bit, it becomes easy. You don't have to hold on to the other end to do it. So then you could just carry on wrapping. It'll hold itself into place. But then obviously if you're pulling it and it's moving around still, it's a bit too loose. So just go back a few turns, start again, and then try and get it tightened off on there. Okay, so my one sort of cuts out there. It just ends the end of it. I've actually got some other one from the car I'm going to use, so I think I'm just going to use it just to kind of finish it off over the top. It should be a similar color, but like I said, this is only just for a little bit of fun, right? So I'm not too fussed if it doesn't look 100% perfect on there. We could leave it open like that, but you know, let's do it right. So what we're going to do is, because you got the end over there now, is get your metal cable tie, put it through, and then just again tighten that off. Make sure you got it nice and tight and snug, and then just pull your cable tie over it and pull that tight. So obviously wet hands, I'm going to get pliers and do it, but I should just hold it into place there. I'm going to put one more at the base, so just where I started it all off, just so that it holds into place as well. down there. Okay, so I'll dry my hands off and I'll pull that tight, and then you could just use a tin snip or something just to snip off the ends of it, just to neaten it off. But yeah, like I said, it's not too difficult. It's not too hard to do. In there, you just got to get the knack and the hang of doing it. So yeah, just pull it tight. Make sure you get tight as you go. You'll get a lot of drippage of water and so on coming out of it, because that's just all the moisture coming out. But it's a good thing, because if the water's dripping out, it means it's tight enough that it's just sort of wringing itself out, right? So let me tighten that off. I'm going to get another little piece just to put over the top of the exhaust here towards the end. We can call it a back box if we will for this thing. I'm just going to get some to cover this, so just so it all looks nice and flush. Okay, so the other wrap that I had, it's slightly grayer than this one, so I just thought for now what I'm going to do is I think I'll leave it as it is, because it's okay now. That just gives it a little bit of protection against the fuel pipe there as well, and how it looks. It might just dampen the sound slightly as well, but what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave it as it is now. It kind of looks cool like that, and I like that sort of that burnt sort of flame tipped color that it's got there going on. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as it is, and I think I'm going to put it back together and we'll give it another sound test. There you go, everyone. So as you can see, heat wraps is on. It's all sort of tightened up. It sounds amazing. I love it. Forgive the surging. That's something that we need to tackle next anyway on the motor. But all in all, exhaust sounds good. Yeah, time to cut this grass. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. Support the channel so I can keep making these videos for you.